So, I want to talk to you guys today about the 3 shifts that you need to take control of your career. So, if there's anybody in the comment section that you feel like, Alicia, I don't feel like I have the control that I want, because we definitely want to be sure that you guys are able to feel the control in your career that you should be feeling, right? And anytime you feel those feelings of I feel stuck, or you might say something like I feel like I'm not being paid the money that I should be being paid, or anytime you feel any kind of like unfulfillment in your career, that's a sign that you may not have full control as you should. Right? Oh, good. Okay, good. If you guys see me looking down, I have my notes with me because I definitely want this live to be packed with value. Okay. Good morning, Miss Kenya. Good morning. Okay. All right. So it's very, very important, guys, especially, if you are one that has been established in your career for a while. When I say established, I'm talking about anything over 5 years and up, right? Meaning that you definitely do have some expertise there. You probably have some results and some successes that you have brought forth. And so, you get to a point in your career. And I definitely believe that when you're first starting out, you have no work experience. Sometimes you just gotta kind of maybe go with things that you may not enjoy 100% at first, just so you can gain that experience, right? But I think it's really important for you to realize that you do come to a point in your career where you have earned the right to enjoy what it is that you do, right? You have learned that expertise, and you have been able to establish success. But it comes to a point in people's career that you can just tend to get really used to how things are, right? Especially if you've been in maybe like work environments that are not the best, or maybe you have been in roles that maybe didn't meet your expectations. When you start to operate at a like when you start operating in a certain space, if you're not aware, you can almost feel comfortable with not being happy, right? So if you're there, let me know. You can start feeling very comfortable with not being happy. And when I say that, what I mean is that you can feel all of the signs of like, I'm not happy. And when I say I'm not happy, it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, I want to look for another job. But you could simply be happy with how not things are at work, right? And so when you have been in this mode to where are not happy, and you feel the signs, right? You feel every morning like, I do not feel like going to work. You're at work those 8, 9 hours a day. You are just not happy. You're bored, not feeling that excitement, right? And so you get used to that feeling. And so you feel all of the effects of not being happy. But it comes to the point where you're like, you know what? It is what it is. Okay, right? You're not making any action, or you're not really trying to make the steps to get to where you want to be, or even start showing up at work the way that you know that you should be, right? And so that's why it's important for you to realize that you got to take control of your career. I am the kind of coach, I hold the clients I work with. I gotta hold you accountable, right? Because it's so easy to get into this blame game of they always treat me wrong, or you start to point the fingers as to why you don't have the things that you want. But a lot of times it's on you. Even when it comes to things like work life, right? It is not your job's job, right? It is not their job to make sure that you have work life balance. It's yours, right? So if you find yourself in a place where you feel overworked, it is up to you to be able to speak up and ask for those things that you need. Now, when you ask for the things that you need and you do not get the response that you feel like you should, that's when it's time to make a choice, what it is that you choose to do. And that is where that you having the power in your career comes from, is knowing this. I always have a choice. I don't have to succumb myself to anything. And so people tend to feel as if they have no control in their careers, because they're just kind of being pulled every which way, and they feel like they don't have any say. But I want to free you today, friend. You do. Right. And after this live stream, I want you to definitely feel more empowered, right? I want you to feel more excited. And I also want you to feel like, man, like I have the choice to really create the career that I can, that's not only that you can love, but a career that you can be excited about, right? An actual career where you can thrive, and you can see your expertise operating and being proud of your skill set and being able to serve with your expertise as you feel free to. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing, like I was saying, when we're talking about you being able to take control of your career, what for one aspect of you taking control of your career is being intentional about your career path and your career development. I want everybody to say it with me: intentional. Intentional, meaning that I'm not just hoping, or I'm not just, I have my eyes closed real tight and I just wish that everything just goes right. No, about you being strategic about the uh the moves that you make. It's not just, when I say move, and I keep saying this, not just about you finding another job, right? Because a lot of the clients that I work with, they're not always trying to look for another job. What they want to do is to really be able to grow in areas to where that they're able to show up the way that they should. Because you getting another job is not going to solve everything, right? It's about you being able to become the person that you need to be to succeed. So when we're talking about having control in your career, we're talking about you being able to be proactive and be intentional about your career path, about your career growth, about your own growth, not trying to sit around and wait for opportunities to just hop out of the sky, right? But you need to have it on your mind. Okay, am where I am right now, does me have like like am I able to truly say that I am on a path of success? Am I able to say that, that where I am now is aligned with my goals? When was the last time you set goals, right? If you have set goals in the past, when it was the last time you've actually went back and thought about those goals and thought if those goals that I set 3, 4, 5 years ago, are those goals still aligned with who I am now? Because you can very well set goals, right? But the question that you want to ask is, how often do I make sure that my goals are in alignment with the person that I am right now? Because you are constantly changing. The things that you want in life are constantly changing. And a lot of times you can find yourself holding yourself to goals that you set years ago, right? So I want you to give yourself the power to know, I can change my mind at any time. I know I said 3 years ago, this is what I wanted, but hey, now I realize that I want something else. So even in that, when you take control of your career, you give yourself the opportunity to really just appreciate the person that you are going into. And if you have a set goals in the past and those goals have changed, right? It does not mean that you don't know, because when we start to see things changing, right? And we see our mind changing, our mind is to say, well, you know what? I feel like I'm always having to change my mind. And so what that does is that make you not have self-trust. And you don't really trust yourself because you feel like what is secure and what is stable means that I'm supposed to have goals and I'm supposed to just stick with those goals. Now, definitely it does mean you definitely want to examine why the need is there to change the goal, right? But sometimes, when you have a mindset to change a goal or something you thought that you wanted, friend, a lot of time that's growth. That's growth. And that's you starting to not only see the person that you are starting to change into, but to appreciate it, right? I have clients that came to me and they was like, Alicia, I do not want to lead a team. I do, nope. I told myself I would never lead a team. And I always like to ask people why, right? Because I do believe that when you're talking about career advancement, it's not always about you having to lead a team, but I definitely do want to know why people don't want to lead. And like 80% of the time, majority of the time, it is because one, they don't have the right mindset, right? And two, it's fear. They're like, no, I don't want to have to deal with all of that. Right. And that's because they themselves have had bad experiences. They themselves have been on teams where they were not led the best. And so now it has changed their mindset about what it means to lead a team and how it feels. And then a lot of times it's simply fear. Man, I just don't know how I would be leading. Like, like you almost start to wonder, man, will somebody thrive under my lead? So a lot of times it's fear. And so as I begin to work through that with my clients, they start realizing, like, wait a minute, I do want to be able to impact people with my skills. I do want to be able to pour into people. And I do want to be able to build people up. Right. And so their mindset starts to change and their goals start to change. And they realize that the goals that they set in the past was based on fear. So let me ask you a question. Are the goals that you set based on fear, or are they really set on the impact that you desire to make? And are they set on the life that you want? So I want to encourage you, friend. Let's go back and look at our goals that we have set, and ask ourselves, has these goals aligned? Like, are these goals aligned with who I am now? And what was the mindset I had when I set these goals? Because I think that's very important. Okay. Also, when we're talking about you being able to take control of your career, we're talking about you being able to actively work towards those goals, actively work towards them rather than just waiting for opportunities to come. It means you taking ownership of your decisions and being willing to make difficult risk and choices. Now, before I start on the mindset, on the shift one, let's talk about taking ownership of your career choices. Sometimes you got to own the fact that you ignored the red flags. Now, if you are sensitive, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to exit the live stream. But if you don't mind some tough love, sometimes, hold on, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so everybody else is on this live stream. Don't mind a little tough love. Now, sometimes you have to own the fact that, you know what, I ignored the red flags before I took this role. I ignored my gut. If you have a relationship with the Lord like I do, sometimes you got to say, Lord, I did not acknowledge you before I took this job. I did not pray about it before I took this job. Sometimes you got to say, Lord, when I was sitting in the interview process, I felt all the red flags. That feeling in my gut was like, they ain't the one. But I wanted a job so bad. And now I see what I've gotten myself into. Right? Sometimes you got to own it. You got to own it. You got to say, you know what? It's me. I keep putting myself in these positions, right? And so when you know, can own it, now you've empowered yourself to change it because you've owned it. Hey, it was on me. But if you keep pointing the finger, even though you realize, you know what I mean, that everywhere you go, you have the same problem, but you keep saying, no, it's them, it's them, it's them, it's them, it's them, it's them. No, if you can own it, now I can identify what you need to do to have it change. Right? If everywhere you go, people are always saying, like, I just don't really like, I don't enjoy, having to do X, Y, and Z with you. Or everywhere you go, you feel like everybody, I just feel like I always has got to be shut down. Why? And when you start realizing, okay, hold on, you know what? You know, I can be a little difficult to work with sometimes, right? I do kind of like having my way. I don't know how to effectively work on a team, right? I don't know how to hear um, other people's feedback and not find myself being upset, right? Owning it. It is me. The reason why I have not landed that C-suite role is because I have not been showing up at work the way that I know that I need to be. Owning it, own it, own it, own it, right? You being able to own your mistakes, you being able to own your part in it, right? I'm not saying it's always your fault, but I'm saying at least let your mind go there. Like, does your mind even go there? Like, are you even able to say, hey, could it be on me? Can I be the problem? Right? And this mindset has helped me in my marriage, with my child, in my friendships. It helps me. It helps me, right? So when you can say, you know what, it could possibly be me, that is called maturity. Ooh, it's called being mature. When you can take your emotions away for just a second and look at the facts and say, has my behavior played a part in the results that I always seem to get? Has my behavior played a part and the results and the outcomes I always seem to get. Right? Being able to take ownership. And that's the thing. It does not feel good to take ownership because sometimes it hurts. Like, oh, it is me. Lord, it's me again. It's me again. Man, but it's something about, but you're going to feel so much more in control because the thing about it is you can't control anybody, but you can control you. Okay. So, and then also it does require you to be in a place where you're always looking to grow and to develop. That's key. If you want to advance in your career, you always have to be able to grow and to develop. And when I say grow, not just you wanting to learn hard skills, though hard skills are important, but you need to be growing in your soft skills. You need to be growing in how you deal with people. I say it all the time. The higher you go up, the less it's about hard skills and the more it's about soft skills. The more it's about people skills, how you deal with the people that you work with. And how you deal with the people that you work with is a direct reflection of how you deal with yourself. If you're one that's always, I don't want to hear nobody else to say, you always want to shut everybody down, chances are you shut your own self down, right? If you sometimes, you have to you know what I mean? Like, when you find yourself getting emotional, you don't really think and you kind of just lash out at people, right? You're probably doing the same thing to yourself. And I tell people how you treat other people is a direct reflection on how you treat yourself. So I'll say this, when you start loving yourself, it'll be easier to love other people. Now, when you start loving yourself, right? It'll be easier to love other people because sometimes we tend, oh, y'all, this live stream going in a different direction. Mm-mm. Because sometimes we will reflect our own insecurities about ourselves on other people. Like you can literally start to tell yourself like, oh, folks are always saying like it's easier to believe that people will think something bad about you than it is to believe that people think good about you. Because it's easy for you to believe bad about yourself than it is for you to believe those things that are good about yourself, right? So when you start to really love on yourself and really start to see the worth that you have and the value that you have and you validate yourself, it's going to be easier for you to be able to appreciate the people that you work with. But it's hard to appreciate the people that you work with when you don't even appreciate yourself. Y'all, this live stream is just going a different direction. It's hard to appreciate the people that you work with when you don't even appreciate yourself. And this is why having a new job is not going to fix it, because you are at every job that you you find is you, right? This is not to like have you feeling, oh man, that's just is me. No, but it's like, oh man, it is me. It is me. And it doesn't take a long time to change, right? But what it takes is you being able to identify that it's you that needs to change. So the first shift I want to talk about when you are talking about wanting to take control of your career is a mindset shift. And a lot of what I've been already been talking about is mindset. I can almost guarantee that. And I don't even know everybody on this live stream, right? Or even the people that will watch the live stream when it's over with. 80% of you have a mindset problem. How you think about yourself, how you view yourself, what you think you are worthy of. That has nothing to do with your expertise. It have nothing to do with a job search. It has nothing to do with your page on LinkedIn. Has nothing to do with your job title, nothing to do with any of that. It's how you think about yourself, but how you think about yourself will affect all of those other things, right? And so, people don't like to talk about mindset because they say, oh, that's just fluff. It's the core of everything. How you think will affect the actions that you take. And this is why you say, man, I'm at work and I'm doing the work and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but I'm not seeing the breakthrough in my career. I'm not seeing the advancement in my career as I want to. What's the problem? It's how you think about yourself. Because you keep thinking that you don't have enough, so you don't apply for those the opportunities that you want. You don't think you have enough, so you don't ask for a raise even though you overwork yourself and you exceed expectations, because you don't think that you are worth it. And you will never pursue anything that you don't think that you're worth, right? I work with clients all the time and they say, oh yeah, I want this kind of role, or this kind of pay, or I desire to make this kind of impact, but it's always a but no. Let's take out the but. I want this kind of role. Period. And stop yourself from trying to talk yourself out of what you want. I want to be in a C-suite role within the next year. Period. I want you to get into the habit of stating what you want, and one, not having to over explain why this thing is good, and two, not trying to find a reason as to why you can't have it. Say what you want and let that be it, right? Because you train yourself to believe that every time I want something, I have to overcome it. It's almost like you have to prove yourself to yourself that you deserve it. That's a bad habit that you train yourself. It's simple things. Even in life, think about, oh, girl, those shoes are cute. Oh, yeah, but I got them on sale, girl. They're cheap. You train yourself to downgrade, and the reason I know this so well, because I've been there, right? Right. And it's like you find ways to diminish compliments the same way that you find ways to bring down your expertise. You find ways to diminish your expertise or your accomplishments and your success and your successes. And you say stuff like, oh, I just da 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 da. You just what? There is no I just. It's I did X, Y, and Z. But the reason we say that, a lot of time it can be because you trying to, you tend to want to protect yourself. You know what I mean? Like, okay, what I'm gonna do is it's easier if I make this small than let somebody else come around and do it. So let me just shrink myself before anybody else does. And that is not the way that you take control of your career, but that is the way that you stay in rooms that you've outgrown a long time ago, right? The other day, I was talking to my friend, and she's like, yeah, I was at work and they were saying this about me and everything like that. And I said, well, do you believe it's true? She was like, no. She said, because when I did X, Y, and Z, that wasn't even my mindset. And I started talking with her, and I said, sometimes, when you find yourself having to always conceal you and always hold back, it's simply because you are in rooms that's just too small. You've outgrown them. When your expertise feels limited, right? When your expertise feel like it has to match everybody else in the room, even though you know more than everybody in there, right? Even though you know more than your boss. That's another live stream. Even though you know that, right? You keep telling yourself, okay, I got to keep the tone down so I don't make anybody else feel like I just think I'm all that. Did you say you was all that? Right? Who said that? Right? So you got to keep on, okay, let me just, right? Because you told yourself that you've had to do that. But you don't realize, and this is why the people that you be like, how in the world did they get to where they are right now? Because they don't have an ounce of expertise that I have, or an ounce of the receipts that I've brought forth, but they just keep seem to keep climbing. And I'm still here. I still feel stuck, right? And that's because they're not afraid, right? They are confident. And it's ironic how they are so confident in nothing. Right. And you got all the receipts, all the successes, all the expertise. And you be like, I'm just waiting until they see my value. And then old Johnny boy here has nothing, right? But he's getting all the raises, right? It's simply because of mindset, right? I don't care what nobody say. Your mindset will take you further than your fancy degrees will, right? Mindset, having a belief, having confidence in yourself will take you further than a fancy degree. Because what happens is you find yourself holding on to all of these degrees, thinking that they are going to make you more sure of yourself, and they're not. If anything, it does the exact opposite, right? There's nothing wrong with you having a degree. Please know there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great thing, right? But you keep adding on a degree. You keep adding on, okay, I think I need to take a class online. I think I need to. And it's one thing if you want to learn more because you want to grow in your expertise, right? And you want to actually master something perfectly fine. Hey, this is a skill set. This is a gap in my skill set. I need to have this field. Great. It's another thing when you keep on getting degree after degree, thinking that if I get a degree, then this is going to put me in the right room. No, your mindset is going to put you in the right room, right? Or if I have this degree and then I can have all of these degrees, then they will see that I have an expertise, and then no. We can't use degrees as a source of validation. We can't do it because when it's time for you to speak up at work for what you want, your degree can't do that for you. You have to do that. Your belief in yourself has to do that. Your self-worth in yourself that tells yourself that I am worth advocating for myself, that is what is going to speak up for you at work. It's not the degree, right? Also, when you at work and you know you have ideas that you want to share, but you're scared, your degree is not going to make you speak up and share those ideas. It's the belief in yourself that my ideas are they're good and they should be heard, and they add great an asset to this team. That's belief, that's mindset, because you'll have all of these fancy degrees hanging on your wall in the best view of your Zoom call view, so everybody can see how many degrees you have. But those degrees can't validate you, because that's something that you have to do on the inside. Okay, yeah, I'm hurrying up, because I want to make sure that I'm on the right track. Okay, all right. So shift number 2 that we want to talk about is a strategy shift. Let's talk about strategy shift. Right? When you're talking about your career needs to be strategic. Strategy, right? Strategy, right? And this is really, really important because, again, you can't keep operating in your career, especially I cannot hold on. Let me put my iPad down for a second. Hold on. Friend. In the job market that we are in now, it is too competitive for you to just keep hoping that things just fall right. It's just too competitive. And when I say that, this is not to scare you. I don't never want you operating out of fear, but I want you to operate out of knowledge. You can't keep showing up to work every day. Focus so much on your job, so much on the task on your desk being done, that you're not thinking about your success, that you are not keeping your success top of mind, that you are so focused on wanting to meet company goals that you have forgotten about your goals, right? You keep on piling on the work. I'll do it. Sure, I'll do it because you want to be seen as valuable. And the work that these extra assignments that you are starting to take on doesn't even align with the role that you want to get. If you are taking on extra assignments, be strategic about it. Does you being able to take on these extra assignments, does that provide you with a extra skill set that's going to get you to the role that you want, right? Or you just taking on these extra assignments so you could just be some kind of, oh, she's a great team player. That don't pay the bills, that don't get you closer to your goals. A lot of you know that there's no more growth at the job you're at now. You know that there ain't nowhere to go from here, but you're still grinding out the work, not thinking about your success, not thinking about what is the plan that I need to create in my own mind to get me closer to the goals that I want. No, you're just grinding out the work. You're not thinking about it. That's not the right strategy. Uh the right strategy is working smarter, not harder. Now, I'm not afraid of hard work. I tell my clients all the time, you go to work and you work hard, right? But not for the sake of I'm some work meal so I can prove to you that I deserve this job. But no, you work hard because that's just the right thing to do. And it builds and is able to build things up in you, right? But as you're working hard, it should be leading you to something. Because a lot of times when you overwork yourself, all you get is what? More work, right? So I want you guys to start being strategic about even these extra assignments that you keep taking on at work. No, right? And it's about you being able to know that, man, like I need I need to make sure that I'm on the right track and that what I'm doing is bringing me closer to what I want. But in most cases, the actions that people are taking is bringing them away, right? And so we're talking about you being able to have to shift the actual strategies you use. What I'm talking about is you being able to be clear, right? You not being afraid to get the skills that you need, right? Your worth, when I talk about your worth, I'm talking about the value that you have on your job. I'm not talking about your self-worth. I'm talking about the value that you have on your job is connected to your skill set. It's connected to your skill set. Absolutely. Right? So don't get so comfortable in your job that you're not doing what you need to do to make sure that you are able to create, you know what I mean, the skill set and keep your skills fresh, because you can get so caught up in one job. You've been doing that for years and you've totally lost track of the new trends in your field. You don't know what is happening. You don't even know what new skills are being added in your field, because now your skills are only tailored to that specific company. And that's the worst thing that you can do for yourself, is just to keep making yourself better for a company. You make yourself, you improve yourself for you. You improve yourself for your growth, for your path. Now the company that you work for, they will reap off of it, right? But I'm doing this for me, right? Because you can literally take your skills wherever you want to go. I had a client, she worked we worked together last March, right? Now, to work with me one to one, it's an investment. Won't even lie to you. It is an investment, because the skills that the clients that I work with gain are for life. They help you in your life, and the results that the clients have with me, right, changes their whole career. So it's an investment. So there's no way that I'm gonna sit up on here and tell you to know the value that you have and I don't know mine. So it is an investment, right? But the return on the investment is way more, right? So she went to her company, right? Her company paid for her to work with me. Some of you guys won't even ask, right? Because it is development coaching, right? Some of you don't even ask if you get an actual stipend, right? In your mind, you say, "Nah, I don't think that we have that." You won't even go find out, right? That's because a lot of times you don't take this stuff seriously. And I'm not saying this to work, and you do want to work with me. Hey, I'm here, but it's just the point I'm making is that you won't even seek out opportunities to develop yourself, right? To get the help that you need. And so you know, I tell people there's nothing wrong with building your skill set on somebody else's dime, right? Even if you guys you do plan to own your own thing one day, hey, build your dream on somebody else's dime. Get the skills that you're going to need to run that side hustle, whatever you want to do, on somebody else's dime. And you might say, "Oh, is that right?" No, they are paying you to do a job. Again, the company that you work for here, the company that you work for, they will reap off of your skill set. But know that, hey, once I leave here, I got to be sure that I'm setting myself up for success and I'm leaving better than I came, right? This is why it's really important for you guys to start realizing, like, what are those gaps in my development that I need to start taking charge of? Because you guys see it all the time, especially lately. People are being laid off, and a lot of them are being thrown into a whirlwind because they haven't even given their career thought in years. They're like, man, like they feel lost. They feel, oh my God, and my heart goes out for them, right? But they just thought that this job was going to last forever. But I want you guys to be in a position to where you can take ownership of yourself, right? And take ownership of your career and say, I'm always in a mind to where I'm always being able to build on my success. I tell my clients, you need to track your accomplishments, track your results, track your receipts. A lot of you guys are doing great things in your career, but you can't even remember half the things you do because you're so focused on you having that box marked off, and you're just like, in a mode and you can't even remember what you did. So now when it's time to think about, man, what is the impact that I make in my skills? It's really hard for you because you don't even give yourself the thought of that, right? Because you're thinking, I got to do whatever I can to keep this job and to make them happy. No, friend, you need to do what you need to do to make you happy and make sure that your success is secure, right? You got to be sure that you are keeping yourself in a position to where, man, hey, look, if I got to make a move, I can make a move. If my dream job calls me tomorrow and say, hey, can you submit me an updated whatever, you can send them one that is updated because you have put yourself in a position where you're always ready to capture opportunities. People tell me all the time that you can't get a quality resume in 24 hours. And anybody who tell you can, it ain't good, right? People are like, oh my God, I have this really great opportunity. Friend, you should have been ready, right? You really should be in a place to where you're able to update your resume. I say once every 6 months, but if you're very aggressive, nothing wrong with once every 3 months, having it reviewed, just making sure the information on there fresh. Because if an opportunity, if it comes, right, you want to be ready to capture those opportunities and always have yourself in a place to where, hey, if I got to make a move, I can make a move. Right. I have this actual tool that I just made, the Income and Impact Navigator. It's a whole tool system, a whole spreadsheet where you can keep track of your impact, of your results. You can keep track of the skills that you use, the skills that you learn. It also has an actual development plan, right? It has an actual tab where every time you meet, feedback that they give you, right? And you can an action plan to make sure that you're staying on. I mean, it's a whole tool system. You can go to Purpose of Pay. No, I'm sorry. purposecareers.com. Y'all, hold on one second. Sorry, that's my husband and my 4-year-old. They're getting a little loud. I'm in my office right now. The door is closed. I'm like, y'all getting a little loud. I'm on live stream right now. But yeah, so I created this whole system. It has scripts for when you want to ask for a raise, right? When you are having to meet as far as with your boss, which you should be having to meet with your boss every 6 months. I don't like that having to meet with your boss once a year. And if you're really aggressive, you need to be having a meeting with your boss at least every 3 months. But that's a whole nother live stream that y'all probably don't want to hear. But if you want to get this, you can get it at purposecareers.com. That code, you're able to scan that code, and it is half off right now. Right. And so this is a way that you're able to keep track of your accomplishment. I can't tell you how many times I had to sit with my clients and they have to think about, okay, I think I did this. I think about time I was able to work with them and really dig out the accomplishments. I'm like, girl, you is killing it. I'm like, now when are you feeling a little low, like as if you're not of value? Because I'm like, my God, like, no, you're doing awesome. But keep track of this. And also, when you are ready to ask for a raise, you have proof of what you've done. Because a lot of times, you think that your boss knows the impact you're making and they don't, right? And they see the results, but they don't see the expertise that it took for you to get to those results. So guys, if you get a moment, go and really snag that tool, because it's so important to keep track of that. Keep track of it, okay? Also, and then now the third shift I want you guys to make is I want you to make an action shift. I want you guys to start taking action. Now, the actions, it doesn't have to be, something big. I know that there are some people that get overwhelmed with thinking, oh my God, I have to do all of this. No, friend, just take a little small action. Like earlier when I was talking about goals, you really need to be sure that when you are like, go back and check those goals out. Hey, are those goals still aligned with who I am now? What was the mindset I had when I set those goals? That's an action. Also, the more action you take, the more confident you will become. Hands down. Hands down. The more action you take, those small steps, right? And it's going to allow you to at least put yourself in the place of going in the right way. Sometimes when I'm talking about having to take action, just simply just you being open to feedback. That action could be you going talk to your boss. Hey, I wanted to know if there were any improvements. Do you think that I need to make? Because you know you don't want to hear feedback, right? But remember, time to take action, right? Right. This simple action. Okay, what is one small thing that I can do to get me closer to what it is that I want? Right. Or if you haven't asked for a raise, simple things like, hey, setting up a time to talk about the results that you have brought forth. If you are in a role you're not sure, you know, do I have opportunity here? Do I not? Setting up a time with your boss to say, hey, what is the growth plan for this role? Just being able to have these talks, right? Being able to take the action. And so don't ever be afraid to have those kinds of conversations. I know a lot of time people are like, I don't want to have the conversation because I already know that they will say, first of all, you don't know. Right. And even if you don't hear the answer that you think that you should have heard, at least you have the information that you need to make the choice that you need to make. Okay. Also, it causes you to learn from mistakes. Now I own a business full time now, right? I was in HR for over 10 years, but now I own a business full time. One of the best pieces of advice that I got in my business was fail fast. Fail fast. You know, a lot of people are waiting, and you can use this in your career as well. A lot of people are waiting for everything to be just right until they make a move. But of course, you know, anytime you are having to do something new, mistakes is going to happen. It's part of the process, right? But the quicker you start, the quicker you can make those mistakes and learn, and the quicker you can see success. So I'm not afraid. I'm like, okay, this is an idea I want to do. Let's do it, right? And I know, okay, the faster I can learn from it, the faster that I can see the growth and the success that I need. So, and then another thing is when you're able to take action, you gain momentum, right? You finally see yourself in this mode of, man, I'm really taking control of my career, man. I'm really doing the things that I know that I should be doing. And then you start to get that feeling of, man, I'm making something happen. That feeling of, man, I'm really starting to create something good. So, man, like, don't be afraid to take action. So I want to do a quick recap. Okay. We talked about what it means to take control of your career. It means you being able to be proactive and intentional about your career path and your growth. It's about you being able to set goals and work towards them. It's about you being able to take ownership and be willing to take risk and make difficult choices. Also, we were talking about how it's about you always being in a mindset of growth. We talked about three shifts. We talked about having a mindset shift, two, having a strategy shift, and three, we talked about having a shift where you take action. And this is just a bonus one because if you watch my live streams every week, you know I'm always sharing it. Having a self awareness shift, which we already discussed throughout the live stream, but I do want to add that in there. Having a self awareness shift to where you can start to identify those blind spots that is possibly holding you back. You definitely want to be sure that you are being self aware. And I say, and when I talk about self awareness, it's not just meaning like the bad stuff about you, but also those things that are good. Being aware of what is important to you, whether that's family, time with yourself, whether that's your core concepts or thoughts, being aware about those things. Like, you know, I tell people the number one thing is values. So important to have core values. Because a lot of times you don't feel the fulfillment in your career or on your job is because the values that you have don't align with the company that you work with. You value diversity. You value being on teams where other people don't look like you, right? My laptop is dying, right? But if they don't value that, you always feel like, I just feel like I'm not able to serve in the way that I desire to serve, right? And so once you start to get clear on the values that you have, then you can start to identify spaces that feel good, right? It's so important for you guys to know what those core values. If you do have a value for work life, right? Find a company that also values that, right? If you value to, like, I like to be able to be on my own and to be able to operate in my expertise as I feel that I should, right? Find a company that wants people to operate in the expertise with liberty. Those things are possible, right? So if you guys have any questions, go ahead. Also, if you guys would like to work with me one-to-one, you can go to aliciaperkins.me/work. And then we can have a call scheduled and we can talk about how I can help you. I'm just going to be honest. If you're looking to just make more money, I'm probably not the best coach for you, though my clients do make more. But I take a real holistic approach to this. I'm more concerned about you being whole, and I'm more concerned about you being fulfilled than you just being paid. Though I don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being paid, but a lot of the clients that I work with, they are already doing well, but they just need to be able to grow in the areas that they know that they need to grow in it, and they feel that I'm not where I need to be. I'm not sure why. Sometimes they need that outside help, and so my approach is definitely a blend of career advancement with leadership training and also personal growth. So I do take a lot of a more of a holistic approach to the clients that I work with, because I just don't want to know how you doing at work. I want to know, how are you doing? Right? Because how you are doing is going to affect how you are doing at work. And a lot of you guys are not showing up and not making the impact that you desire to make because you are not doing well. And so, no, I'm not a therapist, but I help my clients to be able to explore options and to be able to help them to identify the areas that could be holding them back, and I help them to create strategies to overcome them. So also, if you would like to get exclusive content from me, make sure that you do go to careert.me. This is careert.me. And I send out exclusive content. I do have a workshop coming up. I have a few of my clients in the chat I see, but I do have a workshop that is coming up in April, so stay tuned on that date. So I think I have a few people who have joined my events as well. Do you also take clients who are looking? Yes, I do take clients who are looking to change careers. Absolutely. I think that's it, y'all. So remember that this replay is going to be saved on my channel on YouTube at I am Alicia. Yes. And let me say this. When it comes to my clients, I'm definitely for more seasoned professionals. Like even in order for you to work with me, you have to have at least like 7 years of experience. You're either in some kind of lead position or you desire to be. And so yeah, looking forward to hearing more about the workshop. Yes, Miss Shelley was in my last workshop. So yes, Miss Shelley, please stay tuned. I will definitely be dropping more details on that. My last workshop was over the course of 3 days. So I really, really like that experience. And my next workshop is definitely going to be a lot more like hands-on. So definitely stay tuned for that. Any other questions? I really enjoyed. So let me know if you guys enjoyed the live stream this morning, and also share with me like what was one key takeaway that you got from this. Um, good. So please let me know if you guys enjoy. And also, you're welcome. How do I reach you for one-to-one training? Hey, Mr. Darwin, if you're on LinkedIn, you can definitely contact me on there on LinkedIn, and we're able to chat. But you can also go to aliciaperkins.me/work. It is aliciaperkins.me/work, and we can schedule a time to actually talk as well. Yay! Tisha was at my last event too. Oh, Michelle, you are so welcome. I'm so glad that you guys was able to get value from this. Fail fast. This allows for improvement on the process. Yes, just go ahead and just get the fail out the way. Because right on the other side of the fail is a success. But a lot of you guys, you just quit too soon. Okay, guys, so I will definitely will not hold you up. I enjoy my live stream with you guys as always. I go live every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you guys have any topics that you want me to speak on, please go ahead and share those with me. You can send me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to talk about those live stream. I said those live streams. I'll be happy to speak on those. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will chat with you guys soon. Bye.